else you think it is that makes you suspicious that it might be him then?
Thanks very much, studio. Can we stand by for transmission?
Unprecedented, at least in scale. We had a major phone breakdown today in the public telephone system, so it means we missed a lot of calls, and it was frankly a very depressing evening here until about an hour ago. That was when all the lines came on again, and if you couldn't get through before, our apologies, please try now. We'll give you other numbers too in the next few minutes. But we have had, in that last 60 minutes, some pretty exciting calls, one I've just seen come in the last few moments.
Well, some pretty exciting calls on our first case tonight. Now, they seemed like a couple of bumbling thugs. They plundered artwork from a gallery in York, crudely cutting paintings from their frames. Well, Phil Metcalf, it may have been crudely done, but they did make off with, well, around about £1 million worth of artwork. How are you getting on tonight?
We've had some interesting calls. We've had somebody from Scotland phoned up who we believe may have seen the robbers in the gallery just before closing time. We've had another call from Humberside, and somebody's given some good leads, which we're following up at the moment.
So more than you had before you came in tonight?
Oh, definitely, yes, a lot more.
Now, there is a reward, isn't there, which may be an incentive?
Yes, there is. The paintings are not wanted by the robbers. What they're wanting is the cash that they can raise. They're going to try and sell them. I don't think they have sold them yet, but they're going to try and sell them. So when they are offered, please, somebody contact us.
Yeah, the reward's £25,000. You've got 20 pieces of artwork out there on the loose somewhere, and this is the most famous and valuable one of them, which is a Turner watercolour.
Yes, it is. A lot of people will recognise the name Turner, and it's going to come on the market.
And that'll be a bit of cruder canvas without a frame. OK, well, let's hope you get some success. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, next, the murder a year ago of a teenager, 15-year-old Hannah de Turville. Her family have been devastated. They have been praying for some strong leads tonight.
Mum, can I go out tonight?
All right, as long as you're not back late, OK?
Thanks, Mum.
Brian Pender, so far the family's prayers really haven't been answered. It's been quite disappointing.
It has, Nick. We've had a fairly poor response, but there are one or two interesting calls, obviously, that we'd like to follow through, and particularly I would ask the man Steve, or who used the alias Steve, to please come forward and speak to us again, because he may have something interesting to offer us.
You were hoping that friends of Hannah's would call in, if they count themselves as friends at all, who haven't really spoken to you, who haven't divulged everything to you. I mean, that's still a real possibility, isn't it? They needn't do that immediately. They might come through the next few days.
We would hope so. We're satisfied that there's many people out there who have not yet come forward to speak to us, and I would urge those people to take the opportunity now and come and speak to us. Thanks, Brian.
Well, 20 years ago, this woman was discovered half buried in a forest. And tonight, with this new recreation of her face, we hope to find out who she was. And when she was found, she was wearing this outfit, this identical outfit. Well, Dave Stevens, 20 years is a long time to think back to someone who perhaps looked like that. Have you had any leads?
We weren't expecting too many calls, but we've had over 20 good calls, all of which we can action. 2 or 3 are very interesting. For instance, one identifies the woman as coming from Whitechapel, working there and living there, which is obviously very interesting. We've had 2 separate calls from South Wales identifying a woman there. So we're very excited about the response.
And this was what she was wearing. We've had no reference really to the dress yet, have we?
None at all, not at the moment, but it's early days. I think it should be said that, you know, keep those calls coming in. I mean, this poor young woman is in an unmarked grave in Tunbridge Wells. It would be really nice to name it. Keep them coming in.
Well, first I was trying to trace Ali Samadi. Well, we've had some really hot information on him, so much so that I can't tell you very much more about it, but we've also had a call from a PC in London who thinks he's had dealings with him recently. And then there was Mohammed Basharat, also known as Bobby. Well, again, very strong information. Somebody's called and said that they think they saw him at 21:30 hours tonight, have given us an address, and that he's possibly still in the market business. And then lastly, we were trying to trace a lorry from which this piece of metal came. It's a brake drum, and it came off a Leyland DAF. Well, we've had a lot of calls saying that it was John Raymond, the firm. We know it's not, but we've had 6 other firms named. If you still think you can identify the firm, please call us now.
Well, we were looking for an informant who was appalled at a vicious assault on a woman in her 70s at her home in Kenilworth.
I'm not opening this door. You're not her son. Go to the British Legion if you want her son.
Well, Colin Jones, such violence for a bit of money, wasn't it, really? Have you managed to secure anything tonight?
Yes, indeed. We've taken an encouraging number of phone calls, including a substantial amount of calls that actually name a suspect for us. Naturally, we're very interested in following those leads up. What,
one suspect being named several times, or several suspects being named by different people?
Several suspects have been named.
Now, what about the geography? He wanted to go to Warwick University, first of all, and then he changed his mind, didn't he?
Yes, that's right. We're particularly interested in linking the two locations that he requested of the taxi driver. He changed his mind, apparently, immediately before arriving at Warwick University and asked for the Common Way area of Stoke Heath in Coventry. We are, as I say, very interested in what links those two things.
Keep those calls coming in, please. Thank you.
Next to Manchester and Junior Lewis Otway, who was wanted for a whole catalogue of crimes. One caller has given a possible location visited by Otways, but we need to know where he is tonight. Next, the sledgehammer robbers. Remember, we had several bits of VT. The two men are seen... although inquiries are continuing, the officers are confident they have identified and eliminated the two men seen prior to the second attack, so no more calls on that. But if you know anything about the robbers, still keep calling in. And the Inverness Aquadome rape, one lady has called in suggesting that someone she knows could be the lad on the waterside, so let's hope that proves fruitful.
Finally, a violent serial rapist. He attacked women and girls as young as 13 in Portsmouth, but all this was about 10 years ago. The fear is that he hasn't actually stopped, he simply moved elsewhere.
Can I go now? Can I go home now?
Peter Shand, actually this has been a really quite exhilarating evening. I mean, horrible series of crime, but fantastic response.
We've had a really brilliant response, in fact, not only here, but in our incident room in Portsmouth, which we're going to keep open quite late.
Now, let's remind ourselves that this is 10, 12 years ago, and you still have this huge volume of calls and really, really strong ones. Give us a flavour.
Well, we've had quite a few people ringing up with specific names of people that they wish to put forward, and even recalling occasions where they can look at the photo fit and the artist's impression and give us a name and recollect that those people were in the areas that we've actually covered tonight.
Several that I saw said not only place someone in the area, place someone with the right sort of car for various reasons, one of them quite interesting, and particularly somebody who's violent. And so you're going to have a lot of work from now on.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work here, and I'm very encouraged.
Good, thank you. Well, if you've been a victim of this man in Portsmouth or wherever else he is now, or of any other crime, you want to talk to someone, you can call Victim Support. On Crimewatch nights only, Victim Support Line is going to be open for late night calls. That's Victim Support Line on 0845 30 30 900.
Please don't keep quiet if there's some way you can help on any of our cases tonight, and we'll show you the numbers in a moment. The lines are closing shortly here, but you'll see the list on Ceefax on page 621. Our email address is crimewatch@the.bbc, and there's always Crime Stoppers, anonymously if you prefer, on 0800 555 111.
We're back next month on Tuesday, March the 23rd. And do remember, crime rates are coming down. The trend is now strong, and it's utterly consistent. So don't have nightmares. Sleep well. Good night.
Good night.